to keep Space Station out of Los Angeles. They want to move on just as much. We're underway here in game number 1. Toasty gonna start things out and pop it over, but there's Daniel to push it back forward.
And speaking of the man of the hour, who seems like he's become the man of the regional, of regionals past, Daniel, no moment's too big for him. And with the moment now arising of a potential major berth, you're going to need him to step up and step up big. And he's been able to answer that call before. But Reddle's already getting very physical, leaving way to Arsenal, looking for the center, won't find it. SSG pressuring yet again.
Toasty. Close touch over to LJ, slowing it down. LJ pops it over. Arsenal trying to save it, but the double commit gives Toasty the opening. Oxygen strike first.
Toasty very keen on the dominance. That's going to allow him to, again, scoop up a lot of these rebounds and put it right back on target. He does it there, holds his position, doesn't get scared by the double commit from SSG. And those are the types of goals that you're going to have to force through against this Titaness 3-man roster. It's going to take a lot, but it is absolutely possible. And early on, Oxygen looked good.
When we saw Oxygen against G2, their transition game was pretty good when they actually could get back down past the midfield line, but it's trying to find where LJ is on these plays. LJ might have to be the enabler, but there he is, right center for the shot, and it's 2-0 Oxygen.
God, I love this angle. I mean, this pass is so perfect from Gimmick, and that's why he has remained a staple on this roster, right? When they were figuring out, okay, how do we put this team of 3 together? Gimmick was one of those centerpieces that when he came in, he made an immediate difference, and it's plays like that in the moment, right between the traffic. How can you find your teammates? He does it there, and they have a 2-goal lead.
Gimmick at the next catch. Oxygen have rocketed out to a great start. Daniel flips this one over LJ. Space Station still trying to get their wheeling, if you will. Reddle's got boxed out by LJ, Gets the clear anyway. Daniel beats Gimmick to the ball, and LJ can get there in time. Oxygen back to the blue half. How are Space Station going to structure themselves here? Thanks to that mistouch from Toasty, who's got no boost as he rotates back into net to withstand more Space Station pressure. Gimmick trying to stay on top of that. Again, no boost. Him and LJ both move forward on this, and still Daniel's ball. Daniel off the ceiling, and you see Space Station trying to jump at the route a little bit, trying to beat Oxygen on the rotation, but they're just a little off the mark.
Yeah, they've been trying to get Oxygen to commit 2 to one side when they go for the post, and Oxygen aren't biting. So once you get the ball back to midfield, SSG are very comfortable with playing it from one at a time, popping it up and using boost to create some space. Daniel, in a 1v1, Toasty immediately cuts it down, but that's credit to Oxygen's defense. They're not falling for a lot of these different looks from Space Station, and now you have room to make things interesting. What a pass down, just couldn't find the open man.
Yeah, I like that lead from LJ. Gotta force Space Station to really think about every option that Oxygen have available to them. But Reddles, light shot. LJ got up there in time. Toasty, a little bit of boost to finesse that ball back downfield. Space Station still have not been able to find the back of the net. Only 3 shots. And then you look over at Oxygen, they've only got 2. Efficiency. Right now, the name of the game for Oxygen, but here comes Space Station. Arsenal gonna wait for Toasty's touch. He's rewarded with the ball, but where can Space Station go?
Toasty has been uncontested, picking up boost at midfield, and he's been more than happy to play that second option. So when you have somebody constantly up, Jorby, who can bump players like Arsenal and Reddles off the sidewall and make a contested look at midfield so Daniel doesn't have just free real estate, it makes SSG's job inherently more difficult. And Gimmick playing off the backboard nicely. There's Toasty yet again. LJ circling underneath. All he has to do is slow this one down and give Gimmick and Toasty time to get back in position to wait for that follow-up challenge from SSG. SSG have looked good on offense, but the defense has been much better from Oxygen.
There's another challenge from Toasty. Daniel sets this one up. LJ's got plenty of boost to watch it. He lets Toasty take this one up. You saw Space Station unwilling to commit with all of Oxygen in position. They're still able to get a couple of boosts. Daniel stabilizing in midair, has to force the 50 against Gimmick. Toasty next up, Reddles on top of him. Space Station looking for the goal. Reddles can't shake LJ, and Oxygen really playing, like you said, Spaceman, excellently on the defensive end despite mounting pressure from Space Station. Here's one off the back wall, and LJ picks it up, and he's got time to spare.
Well, the intermittent game plan from SSG was play through the left corner, and if that is what what SSG want to do, Oxygen are just popping the ball up. They're forcing SSG to burn boost to recover, and they're not getting clean touches, so you can't extend. It's so well done, and a better save from Reddles, but here comes Gimmick yet again. Off the crossbar, Reddles has to get there. Daniel recovers. Toasty back up. LJ might be able to get in front. Toasty circling through the corner. Now you have a look for Oxygen, but cut down quickly and swiftly. It's SSG looking for some kind of escape plan. They have nothing, and yet again, burning so much time, SSG escape downfield.
Daniel towards the net, saved by Toasty. Reddles got the catch roll. If there was ever a time for Space Station to get on the board, that carry from Daniel had to be it. But here's Arsenal. Let's hit drop. Gimmick. Go shot by Daniel, just a little high, and it's taken back over to the corner. Again, the chance is coming for Space Station, but they can't convert. These little touches, the challenges from Oxygen, they've just been a little better, just been a little stronger. LJ just leaves it, and full control from Oxygen in game number 1, taking down Space Station to start things off.
Man, that was so well done from Oxygen. I mean, the game plan going in from SSG off the opening kickoff was, we want to pull 2 defenders off the goal line, make them double commit. If we get a 50, boom, it's centered. If we get a win, boom, it's the backboard. Regardless of what the play might be, they wanted Oxygen to overextend through their own defensive side. It didn't work. Oxygen didn't bite on the bait. So then you try to play through the corner. Like, okay, we'll pull them up towards the backboard. We'll make them burn boost. But there was no clean touches. Oxygen would get the ball and immediately softly just pop it up. So what do we see? Daniel has to spiral up, burn boost to get it back down. Reddles can't get a clean look. Arsenal can't circle in as a third man and extend the play. Oxygen did such a good job of understanding the momentum of the game and how to immediately stall out Space Station. So if you punch the ball downfield for a clear, Space Station can't recover and then try it again. They have to find a new way to get creative, and they couldn't. It was pressure put on Space Station to score when they needed to most, and Space Station didn't answer. That was just so well done from Oxygen. It was so nice.
Yeah, definitely getting in the heads of Space Station. Daniel leaving the lobby maybe for a car swap, despite the 6 shots he had on net, posted zeros across the board. Reddles picking up 3 saves, and I mean, you said it, Oxygen really playing a clinical game 1. They need to continue that on Forbidden Temple. This is the dangerous thing about best of 5s. If this was a best of 7, you're talking marathon mode for Oxygen. That's a long series, but this is where the upsets happen, where you can take a team down a peg by just being better for the first couple of games. If Oxygen can keep pushing the pedal here on Forbidden Temple, they could put Space Station in some dangerous territory.
Game 1s are game 1s, but a win is a win. And a big one like that to set the momentum, we really start to see the personality of Oxygen now in game 2, and that's where you build momentum in a series. Can they continue that remedy? For SSG, it just comes down to fundamentals yet again. Like, they did things correctly in game 1. They set themselves up for success. They just got outplayed. You can remedy that and fix that by getting a little bit more physical, creating more space on the back line, trying to get towards the backboard and pull Oxygen out of position yet again. They absolutely can bounce back in the series.
LJ has been a constant pain for Space Station, but that's a great shot from Daniel. Puts it right underneath the defense, and Space Station, their first goal of the series.
Well, you saw it. Let's run it back. Only 36 on the clock, but it's enough for Gimmick to try to meet this one immediately on the challenge, and with so much net to cover, if you're Oxygen, you're guessing, and you're probably not going to come away with it. Daniel knew exactly where he wanted to put it. He gets it, and SSG get on the board first.
Reddle's a big part of that goal as well. That pop putting it away from Gimmick, so he was forced to respect it. Now Space Station, we saw this offense come out from them in game 1. The only difference was, ball just didn't get into the back of the net. LJ pushing this ball downfield. Daniel cuts it off. It's amazing what one goal can make your offense look like. Here comes the second. Reynolds puts it backside. Space Station on top.
They just needed to pull the defense out a little bit more towards midfield. Once you do that, you're playing a one-on-one, and you're asking Reynolds to beat Toasty with all that space. Reynolds puts it behind him. You can't backflip that far as much as you want to try. And there is the lead, and continuing on, it's SSG very quickly understanding the situation, the moment in game 2, what it means, and they're responding quite well.
Now Oxygen's medal being tested. A real chance to keep momentum in their favor has been gone, or is gone now. Space Station in control of Forbidden Temple early on. Gimmick just getting to that touch. Daniel was out of boost. Arsenal caressing this back down. LJ's been solid in his 50s as well. He's had a lot of smart, small touches. There's a pass to Gimmick, too light of a shot. Toasty's got a lot of boost, expends it to get to the wall, puts it out, but LJ was there as well, and it might have been better served for Toasty to leave that one, but that was a tight window. Here comes Reynolds, cross the field, got the dunk off the backboard, as LJ pulls it back.
That's a big clear by LJ. I mean, I know you get a demo out of Reynolds, so you're playing a 3-on-2, and you get boost, but it just buys time. That's all you needed on defense, and now Toasty can make things interesting for Daniel, where, again, keeping Daniel out of rotation might be important, but more than that, you just need to buy time to slow down SSG. They've gotten ahead very quickly. They're putting more pressure through the corner. Blue side of the field is completely locked down. SSG have all the resources they need to put a third goal on the board. Oxygen just need to hold on and get themselves back to midfield.
And had Toasty been just a little more patient there and let that play develop in front with Gimmick, had he waited for that 50, he would have been at a better spot to push Space Station back into their own half a little more. Instead, they're having to react to Daniel's carry. Toasty loses the ball here, and Arsenal sees it. Couldn't get it. Toasty fell right back down on top of it. Gives LJ a chance. LJ slips underneath. Used the neutral hop, tried to get the demo onto Reynolds, but couldn't make connection. Daniel, next catch, got the stopper. Arsenal, no chance for him. Toasty gets in the way again. So Oxygen's rotation, solid enough to keep Space Station on their back wheels, but not enough to give them a goal-scoring chance.
And if you're going to play this choppy style possession game, you want to do it at midfield. You want to do it where if you make one mistake, maybe someone's back to potentially block an extra 50 that goes awry. Just like that. It's a weird 50, but luckily you keep it near the midfield line. Now you got to take possession away from SSG. LJ will be up there at the back wall to be able to clear it out. Reynolds now trying his hand at things, but as 3 men in front, he has to get through. Luckily, Daniel was there. If a demo eventually leads to an open slot, it will not. Right off the hood as Toasty finds LJ, but instead, LJ thinking about that bump. It's been very chaotic at midfield for both teams, and nobody has been able to score off the opening 2 goals.
LJ really trying to find a win there, but Arsenal kicks the ball away from him, and Space Station maintain form on offense. Reynolds makes Toasty slip over him, and Arsenal just misses the goal. There is time for Oxygen, a third. Put the nail in Forbidden Temple, but LJ. Ball taken away by Daniel. Oxygen really far off on the rotation here, waiting for Reynolds' touch, and Reynolds says, thank you very much. He's got the net, and he's got Space Station's third goal.
Yeah, it's just a collapse in the back end from Oxygen. I mean, this should have been saved. I mean, you get it around Gimmick, sure, but Toasty needs to read that just a little bit better. It was a good play by Reynolds all around, but those are the types of game-breaking goals that you can't afford to give up, especially in a game, too, where the momentum really is on your side. Even with about 1:20 to go, there was a potential chance to bring this one back. SSG kind of get a go-ahead and a game secure, if that. They just have to burn time now. With how choppy it's been at midfield, this is SSG's game to lose.
Not the best touch here from Toasty. LJ cutting in on the rotation to make up for it. And that ball sails over Gimmick, and Toasty diving in to stop it again. Double demo happening on the backside of the rotation. That's just more time chewed off the clock. And Oxygen are left wondering how they were able to be so successful on defense in game number 1. They just haven't had those attacking chances. And when you think back, they really weren't putting up. What was that? Wait, Daniel? Okay, you can't put that one across. But that one bounced interestingly off the post. But to finish my point, Spaceman, just that Oxygen weren't really putting a lot of pressure on Space Station's net in game 1. There weren't many shots, but the ones they put on delivered. That's the problem, is that, that kind of style, you can't rely on low shot output and high efficiency all the time against a team like Space Station. You got to be able to mount pressure against this team to actually get those goals that you need. And Space Station, Forbidden Temple is all theirs.
Yeah, that really is the key. I mean, it was good enough to get you a win in game 1 to establish, okay, we're in the series, we know what we need to do. But after that, you had limited shots, limited opportunities. And in this game specifically, they did everything they did in game 1. You just can't hold back SSG's offense that long. So you need to be able to respond downfield and create looks, create opportunities. You had 5 shots. I mean, again, 5 shots is 5 shots, but it's not a lot. And when you're not given that many clean looks, because SSG will constantly challenge you individually, you need to find a way to have a better midfield game. And unfortunately, in this entire game 2, it was nothing but contested, choppy, and sometimes sloppy touches at midfield. So Oxygen played great on defense when they needed to in stretches, but SSG just played better on offense, and you can't respond with good defense. You need to respond with goals. So
updates on the lower bracket elsewhere. Randoms, sorry, Spaceman, they're up 2-0 against Rogue right now, looking to advance. The winner of this series will play the winner of that one. So Randoms looking pretty solid so far. Torrent up 1-0 against Sonics, and Envy have taken a 1-0 series lead against NRG. Those are your updates across the lower bracket in the Mobile One Mountain Classic. But this one, I don't think is decided by a long shot. Like to see Oxygen. It's just, to me, Spaceman, it's patience. Spacestation are getting by Oxygen on a lot of these challenges with either leaves, non-touches, or just the really soft touches that don't give, or Spacestation don't give up control of the ball. And that's where Spacestation really flourished. If they could get into your head, it's almost a GG at that point. So Oxygen, I just think if they are a little more patient, let the play develop in front of them a little bit more, give themselves more option coverage, they can catch Spacestation out on a couple of these opportunities. But tough order to ask for Oxygen. Is that touch? Not ideal, but you take it if you're Gimmick and Toasty.
Well, this series is not decided, like you said, by any stretch. I mean, this is anyone's game, but this game 3 matters a heck of a ton. This really could decide who walks away with the momentum. Great placement, just couldn't secure it. Gimmick early on getting one towards the net, and that's what you want to see if you're a fan of Oxygen. Gimmick getting going. His placement was good. Pressure on the defensive end for SSG. They have to respond. Now they get back to midfield. What can they do with it with a full tank of boost and Arsenal with possession?
LJ not giving him a chance, and then Toasty also not giving Daniel a chance. Oxygen trying to challenge early and often, but Reynolds gets around one. Arsenal pops it up and over, and Toasty grabs it off the post. Daniel's next up, though, in the rotation. Recovers off the back wall. Toasty's there again. Arsenal waits, puts that one high. Double tap off the bar and in. Arsenal delivers the first goal.
I mean, how quickly he just takes this one away. Toasty gives it right back to Arsenal, and, well, all that space, you're telling me he's going to bank that one? There's no chance, even with the double commit. Again, SSG taking the looks they're given. The defense is fine, but those are those those clears from Oxygen that you can't just clear the ball away to clear it away. You need to be able to convert it into a counterattack down the field if you want SSG to respect you at midfield. It just hasn't been there, and you see the opening goal for SSG coming through yet again.
You see Toasty taking that midfield boost, trying to be an option, but then Spacestation just closed down immediately. Reynolds keeping the ball high. And you've seen Daniel do it more so than Reynolds or Arsenal in this game, but just grab the ball, pop it up as high as possible, keep control, and then you force Oxygen to burn so much boost, something you were talking about earlier in game number 2. They continue to go to, and it has been extremely effective at getting Oxygen off of the ball and putting them in this rhythm on defense that they can't seem to break the beat of. Gimmick got the next save here, but Spacestation still on offense.
Yeah, this style works if you have the lead, but it only works then, and you have to be able to respond if things go wrong. For Oxygen, they have yet to find that next dimension as a team, at least in the start of this series. There's plenty of time to make things different. LJ with a pop to Toasty. Daniel falling away, gives it right back to Gimmick. The 1-2, Arsenal blocks it to the corner. Reynolds scooping it and getting it out to midfield. It's an extra extension from SSG and more time for them to find what they want.
LJ deep pass, but couldn't bite on it. Toasty, last man back, needs a solid touch. He gets it, but they need that follow-up. Otherwise, Daniel has time to suss that one out. Reynolds ends up getting demoed on the play. Arsenal veers back into control. Daniel next up as Arsenal steals away the corner boost. Daniel gets all of that one, forcing Toasty up. Another demo onto LJ from Reynolds, and Arsenal gets a free look from midfield. LJ gonna try to caress this ball, but Arsenal flips it away, and Toasty just forced a hard clear. This time he gets a follow-up from Gimmick and Oxygen, and they get shop set up here in the orange half.
That's the right play by LJ to try to find Toasty. Even if it's contested, that was the right play. But SSG have the better touches. Daniel hits the crossbar, and no one saves this. Finally blocked away by Oxygen. It's kept up and extended. No one at midfield for Oxygen to continue. Arsenal yet again will get the ball right back to the corner. One long clear for Oxygen. They can breathe. SSG back on the defensive side.
Ball shaken out, but LJ's there, keeps it close, got 2 touches around a Spacestation defender. Gimmick shot, good! He got it finally for Oxygen, tying it up.
Right place, right time. It's LJ from the corner. It wasn't a lot of power, but that extra touch puts it on a dime, and Gimmick had enough. Arsenal, valiant attempt, better play on offense by Oxygen. They desperately needed one of those goals, something that just goes their way. Maybe it's a lucky bounce, maybe it's a lucky look, but finally, they have some life in this game.
comes from LJ. Again, it's LJ creating these opportunities. We saw the same thing against G2. The only time Oxygen were really a threat on offense is when LJ was making plays with his mechanics. And he did so right there, kept the play close, forced the defender to have to make the read against him, and he could put that ball above LJ, trying to do work for his team. The shot placement from Gimmick has been oh so close. So many times he's hit, the bar or the post, and it's bounced out. So Gimmick, the shot placement just not quite there, but it's hair-thin margins. You're talking about the shot placement. They just need to even that up a little bit, and Oxygen just might get a lead. They gotta play more defense as LJ punches the ball out.
It's a huge 50. Oh, that's a tie. And here comes Daniel to save it. SSG survived by the young one yet again. LJ, though, in a position. Where's Gimmick? Creeping up on the goal line from the back wall. No boost to extend. Toasty now looking for a pop-up. He will find it. Toasty, no one else around. LJ circling back, but maybe he keeps this one alive. It's SSG who stall out on the possession yet again.
Arsenal with possession. Flips over Toasty. LJ beats him to the ball. Toasty still downfield as Gimmick starts to creep forward. Gets the ball over Daniel. You see LJ harassing the net, trying to create an opening in the rotation. There's another bump from Oxygen, pulling every physical play out of the book. Arsenal getting stomped onto the ground. Toasty gets chipped this time. Arsenal pushes this one up. Gimmick trying to force the ball forward. Oxygen would love to end it in regulation. They've got the push here. LJ, he's got some boost. Got it on the flip reset, but that's going to be tough to follow up. Back down to Toasty, protected by Daniel. Reynolds putting it down, and overtime in game 3.
Big heads-up play by Reynolds. Oxygen were creeping up like you talked about more and more in the end of that game, feeling very confident. And now we restabilize, but it's Arsenal immediately on with the bump. Here comes Reynolds for the security. Daniel, last man back for SSG. Now a chance, an attempt, blocked away. Opening couple of moments, SSG threatening his first goal.
Gimmick's got no boost. He just has to make a touch. He did. Toasty also no boost, and that corner boost is gone. Daniel, next up. Toasty flips over him, but Reynolds cleans it up quickly. LJ gets bumped, and Gimmick makes another diving stop. There must be a gravitational pull on his car because somehow he comes up with clutch save after clutch save, and there's Toasty picking up one. Daniel flips it over one. Gimmick's got no boost. He needs LJ to help. He gets it. Toasty pushes it downfield, and Oxygen are on the counterattack. LJ and Gimmick, no boost spawns for him. He's got to go the whole way back, but a scary one for Oxygen, and Toasty's there! Oxygen have taken the lead in the series!
He just floats it right over the back line. Reynolds couldn't get it through the corner and gets beat on the 50. LJ, Toasty, 1-2. Daniel, we'll see you in game 4. It's easy for Oxygen, and they handled the pressure when they needed to most.
Oxygen survived. So much defense. Gimmick coming up with 4 saves, but the total save count is 10 from Oxygen off of the 13 shots from Spacestation. I mean, it doesn't get more tens than that on defense for Oxygen, but somehow they withstood the bumps. Like LJ got bumped in midair in the box from Arsenal. You think Daniel's got the shot, and then Gimmick just dives back for a save somehow. Toasty's got no boost, and he's like, that's fine. I don't need boost to get the touch. So many times Oxygen are starved on boost, they're still getting the touches in front of the net, and you're thinking, okay, Spacestation, when are you going to score? But Oxygen were just clutch on defense, Spaceman.
Yeah, the defense works, and that game plan works when you have a lead, when you have reason to play that way. They just needed to score. Oxygen just 5-head needed to score, and they did it. F-Dot. It's looking good, man. Looking good.
You know it is, and excuse me, like looking at how these games go, I need to tell you, like, I need to show chat like how the sausage works here. Listen, when we come up here as a caster and you put your prediction out there, yeah, we did the math. Okay, we're doing what we professionally think, but I am generally rooting to be wrong because we think we know what's up, and if our prediction is wrong, that means something crazy happened. And I'm just saying, something crazy is happening right now. 17% of chat thought that Oxygen could do this. 17%, and I bet you Oxygen themselves voted as well. So now they're one away from eliminating SSG. I'm here for it, baby. Bring me the green and black.
And to stuff their chances at the major, no doubt. Daniel sets it up in Space Station. It was a tight window, but you feel like somehow they got to come up with that goal. Don't ask me how. It was super tight. Space Station back on defense.
And if you're Oxygen going into this game 4, Jorby, you're saying, why not us? Why can't we finish this series? Why can't we close that SSG? Hold on, a demo, a chance. That's a goal from Arsenal. That's going to be 1-0.
Finally, Spacestation on the board, and Toasty coming back. He's only got 19 boost. He picked up the pad, and it was Reddles who hurried him up to jump in the air a little early. If Reddles isn't there, Toasty might be able to jump a little later, get more of a vertical angle on that ball, and actually make that save. But it's the little things, again, for Spacestation that are the difference. Really, for both teams, that has been the difference. But Spacestation get the better of Oxygen this time.
When times get tough, who has the better fundamentals? That's what it's going to come down to in this one. Who's able to make the right play at the right time? Toasty couldn't get the touchdown to LJ. Desperately wanted that one to land. As Arsenal has Reddle as a lead blocker, it won't even matter. Gimmick quickly clears it away. Daniel there, ceiling, boost, and a bounce. Gimmick gets it out.
50 not going Daniel's way. A Spacestation more and more opting for that physical game. Something that they love, but LJ, he would have loved a bit of a lower shot. Net's wide open. 2-0 Spacestation.
I loved the play on the sidewall from Oxygen, but if you don't have someone quickly able to recover and fly downfield to meet a pass like this, a touch like this from Arsenal, you give up open nets, and it's a risky. It's like playing through the blitz. You win and die by it. 2-0 Spacestation. Luckily, 3 minutes, 41 some seconds. It's a lot of time on Coliseum.
Even when Spacestation have lost, though, they've still been able to build that pressure gauge in the blue half. Daniel sets that one across. LJ awkward. Spacestation tried to keep possession. Reddles on top of the ball. Toasty again in a tough spot. Has to avoid Reddles. Wants to keep Arsenal off the ball, and it may be an ill-advised touch there as Daniel comes across, but LJ gets the touch. Reddles comes flying in, and it's pushed down. An awkward sequence, to say the least.
And Reynolds basically did all he could to try to pinch that one down and give SSG an extra chance, but that's more of Oxygen throwing everything they have in the kitchen sink off the defensive line. They were very much struggling to figure out a way to clear that ball out. LJ running in transition with Arsenal, but it's Reynolds again playing through the sidewall, will get bumped, recovers nicely, gets a 50 on the ball. And here comes Daniel with a demo. Big clear by Toasty.
Toasty needs another 50, but Daniel demoed Gimmick. LJ the whole way back, and it killed Oxygen's transition. Reynolds, mid-air demo, saved by Gimmick. He's got to get up quickly. Toasty knew it as well, but this gives Daniel a free look at the ball. Actually, no, Toasty gets the boost. And that touch is close. It works out. LJ gets demoed again. Every time Oxygen sets something up, Spacestation throw it right back down into the dirt. Here's Reynolds taken away by Toasty again, and he's collected his own boost. Arsenal, no touch. Toasty comes down with it once more. He's got the catch, but over top of him is Daniel. Gimmick next up. He's got a demo from Toasty. Leaves it for LJ, but that's a 50 from Spacestation, and the play just dies for Oxygen. When you think they're going to push forward, they get shoved right back into the blue half.
SSG have really picked up the pace in this game. They have really put their pedal to the metal, and they are not letting up. Every single touch is threatening. Every single rotation downfield, speed, momentum behind it, the power on their touches. It's making the job for Oxygen on these recoveries that much harder. This might waterfall. Dangerous down to LJ, but not a clean recovery, and a huge pinch by Reynolds to Daniel. Oh, the 1-2. Gimmick saves it. Toasty, side wall. Oxygen desperately looking for something.
They've been clutch on the goal line. They still allow 2 goals. They need to get some offense. LJ with no boost and Gimmick committed. Meaning Toasty has to make it back quickly, and he gets deleted. Daniel throws it up, off the bar and out. LJ somehow got the save, keeping Oxygen's hopes alive in game 4. Again, still needing that goal. Gimmick gets over 1, but there's always a fail-safe for Spacestation. There's always a follow-up after that first defender gets beat. LJ will try again, but Daniel cuts him off.
The final couple of moments where the momentum starts to set in and teams lock down and play time. SSG will continue the threat. They want to win this game more than they want to stall it out and send it to game 5. And all they need is one more push downfield. LJ just heaving it towards the backboard, hoping somebody is there to extend. Reynolds very quickly cutting it down every single time SSG touch the ball. This game 4 gets more and more out of reach. Oxygen need a goal, and they need it now.
Time still ticking down. LJ gets a demo. Racing back is Reynolds. He's got the touch. Nonplussed. Gimmick, another touch for him on his way out of the stadium. Arsenal protecting the rock. Daniel also keeping them back to the corner. Oxygen just need a goal with time left. Anything that gets them a reset on the kickoff. but it's taken away. 2 commit from Spacestation, maybe a chance for Gimmick. Pops it up real hard. LJ's there. Redirect off the bar, and he couldn't do it. Gimmick trying to protect it, doing what he can to keep it going, but time is their worst enemy, and it just may look like we're headed to Game 5.
In the end, fundamentals mean the most. When it's time to clutch up, who has it? SSG always did. Oxygen in the early going of this series certainly showing the best of their hand. But Champions Field is what it's all about. It's what it always comes down to. And both these teams with so much on the line are going to have to duke it out once more.
It's just so fun to go to Champions Field. And how fitting for the last game of the day on the main stream. Spacestation, it was much like it was in Game 2. Spaceman just scoring 2 quick early goals, and then really I don't feel like they felt that much stress on defense. They only had to make 4 saves off of the 7 shots from Oxygen. Again, the pressure is just not there for Oxygen consistently in the orange half of the field. So where does the buck drop here for Oxygen? Because they have the counterattack, they do have the threats, but the demos are killing them, even on these transitions. And FDOT, I just, we're going to Game 5, but Spacestation looked like they're in clear control.
Yeah, absolutely. I was over there. I was over there talking to some guys in the back on the analyst side, and they were bringing down how Spacestation going here to Game 5 is a crazy deal here. And so Oxygen stepping up here, I mentioned it from the beginning of the show that LJ was a guy to watch out for. Toasty's going to be able to support him here. And looking at Oxygen's supremacy going forward, I think I said Game 5 is where it's all completely different. This is where Oxygen could take it. I don't know if Oxygen could have done it if they didn't get here to Game 5, but now that they are, it's anybody's match.
Well, we're on Champions Field, presented by Mobile One. Spacestation, 1 more game win gets them into Los Angeles. But Oxygen, they need more than that. They would love to send Spacestation packing right now. They fought hard in this series. They fought hard all day. But Spacestation, a giant in the way here on Champions Field. Gimmick popping that one across back to the corner. Reynolds gonna start off the attack on the ceiling, but it's cut off by LJ.
And that's Oxygen's game plan going in. You're going to have to cut down SSG up top. A great pinch from Arsenal to keep that one alive. And more importantly, the pressure that just continues. It's an open net. Throw stats out the window. Game 5 means nothing. You just have to play your game. And so far, Oxygen do just that.
And Arsenal pulls off the ball here. He got smoked on the play, and I'm not sure why he pulls off there. That's a head scratcher for me. At least dive into that one, maybe. You really don't have a clear idea of where the ball is, but you know it's there. And instead, maybe he thought he had a backup, but Daniel was the last guy in net as well. I needed a second look. I was switching between cams. But Spacestation let one go. Daniel wants to give it right back. He's got the dribble, and there it is. Spacestation clean up tidy.
Man, they needed something to just revitalize this squad. I mean, the opening goal is tough enough, but with how that Game 4 went, you're feeling good coming into this one. You want to make your mark. Daniel very quickly responds, and that's the key for me, Jorby. It wasn't something that was drawn out. We didn't talk about a tie game with about a minute to go. They responded immediately, and now it's basically 0-0. You just keep playing.
LJ again demoed. Spacestation. Now, they thrown any modicum of modesty out the window. We're going to drive right through these blue cars, take as many off the field as possible to get that goal in the net. And isn't that the marquee Spacestation way? Toasty pops that one up high, but Daniel's got it on the defense. It's LJ, shakes him off the ball. LJ trying to work, but Arsenal comes in on the rotation. Not enough for Oxygen, but they have maintained midfield right up until that point. As Reynolds gets control, Toasty taking it away from him. LJ bumped out of net. Daniel tried to put it wide, and LJ comes right back in to get the recovery. Reynolds, no chance. Again, Oxygen hanging on defense.
I mean, but even look where Arsenal is. Like, as Reynolds is establishing his presence. Big bomb. Oh, big save. Toasty gets it out. LJ able to corral this one. Can he get out to midfield? Yes. Is anyone else there? No. Arsenal cuts it down yet again. Flip reset. Stuffed right down into the box. Into the corner we go. LJ needs boost. SSG continue their assault.
Space Station trying to relax the rotation a bit after that one. LJ doesn't get the bounce he wants, but Daniel gets a hard clear. Arsenal on the transition. Gimmick's ready for it. Oxygen have adapted to that rotation, trying to avoid those bumps. LJ forces his way through one. He's through two, but nobody was ready for it. Gimmick wins that touch off the backboard. Toasty denied, and somehow Space Station survive. Arsenal collects his boost, collects the ball, and collects some safety for Space Station.
I mean, the tempo's kicked up, but don't get swept up in the chaos if you're Oxygen. Continue to control the pace. Those extra 50s just mean SSG's can have more time to read through the defensive end. Daniel with a slight bump, Arsenal with the center, but Reynolds very far pushed back. Now he makes his move, and LJ should continue to contest this ball. It's Toasty through the corner, plenty of boost, another win by SSG off the backboard. Possession here for SSG yet again. They're playing sideline to sideline. They're trying to pull out Oxygen and make the job even easier when they counterattack downfield.
Arsenal forces Toasty to make the challenge, but he does. 2 demos means Toasty's got to do it twice. He can't on the spot. There's Gimmick again. He's got to do it twice. LJ can't get there. Space Station have the lead.
That was too much time for nothing to happen, but finally SSG answer the call. Gimmick is the only one around, and I was expecting SSG to make that read a little bit quicker, but Reynolds holds the young ones aside, takes control, puts it on target, gets the second goal. A minute 38, plenty of time, but it's SSG who get the lead.
Toasty pops this one up off the kickoff. Has the reset available, but Arsenal right on top of him for the 50. That's been so difficult for them to get by. Here comes LJ, the X Factor, but denied by Reynolds. Picked up the boost and the ball, forced the 50 off of Arsenal. Gimmick, light shot gonna be taken away by Reynolds, but LJ's got 96. He's got the stealing. He's got the shot off the double tap. Goal! Oxygen have tied it up.
What do you do if you're SSG? How do you block this? LJ, uncontested. 1, 2, see ya! It's 2-2 tied up, plenty of time, but more importantly, all the momentum swung back 50%, and now it's a full tank of gas. Oxygen have everything they need to send this one down the distance.
Space Station were able to retain their leads earlier in the series, but Oxygen finally able to punch back a couple of times. Space Station fighting for their major spot. Daniel putting that one across. Reynolds trying to help out, but Toasty, no chance for him. Reynolds gets the clear downfield. Every touch matters. It could be one mistouch. That's the difference in this final minute. Here's Daniel. He's over one. He's got space. Reynolds tried to make it awkward for Gimmick. Arsenal will be next up. LJ's back in the rotation, and it's saved again. The defense has not been immaculate, but it's been serviceable. Bend, but don't break for Oxygen. LJ gets another touch out, but Reynolds is going to continue the push for Space Station. There he comes. One more to do it. Gimmick's got the save. Arsenal waits. He's got some time, but LJ crashes in front of him, and Oxygen have control. LJ denied by Gimmick. Gimmick's shot. Is it good? Off the bar. He misses it. It's out. Where's the goal? There it is. They've done it. Oxygen have eliminated Space Station from major contention.
How does this happen?
What?
How does this happen? Surely this isn't happening. 14
I got
seconds
eliminated.
to go.
Hang on a second. Oh, I got too
14
excited.
seconds to go.
Oh.
It's still possible. Daniel, looking for life. It's Arsenal ready. Is the pass there? Is the pass there? It might be.
Oh.
Arsenal can't get there. Back down to the ground. Kept up. It's kept up by SSG. It's Arsenal through the corner. 18 boost. Still alive. Where's the pass? No one in front. SSG eliminated from the Los Angeles Major. Oxygen stunning SSG in Game 5.
I would just like to point one thing out. Space Station are not eliminated from major contention. But it's gotten a lot tougher for them. So that's my bad, Spaceman. It's my bad.
It's all good. They have a second life.
I got a little excited when Oxygen scored that goal. For some reason, I thought no time was left on the clock. And, you know, we all get one. But Oxygen, what a big win for them. Space Station gonna need some help to get into the major. Just got a little too excited there at the end. But F. What a series. What a day.
Yo, okay. Last time we came to the desk, I was muted and talking to somebody else, and this time I talked too early. I just said, yo, that was insane. That was a raw reaction from me, guys. Like, no cast or nonsense. That's raw. Oxygen taking down Space Station in round one is a big deal. We have a regional this weekend and Space Station's not going to be there. Like, internalize that real quick.
Well, not yet.
That's kind of crazy, bro.
Not yet, though. They're not eliminated yet. That's what I'm saying, F. I messed up.
No.
They're not eliminated from major contention. They can still get in.
No,
depending
from the
on how
regional is what I'm saying. They're not playing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Weekend.
We
yeah,
will not see.
I'm sorry.
We will not see Space Station
right.
at this regional. Insane. Insane.
Wow.
Crazy. I think that's the biggest takeaway for sure, is the fact that SSG will not be here. But we've had a lot of crazy things going on throughout the day. I think, the first matchup that we had, we started off with the General NRG losing to randoms. Okay. Again, not being disrespectful, that's the name of their team. But they are newer to the scene, and that's crazy. So, I mean, with version 1 coming out of the top side of the bracket, I think that is the story I think that we want to cover. So we'll go all the way back here, hit the rewind button, and show you the groups, how we entered into today's Friday here. We had 4 groups like this. And again, that group A, I think, is the biggest surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah. V1, 3-0. Like, even with the way they've been performing recently, I don't think anyone expected as clean as it was. Perfect map count. They come out, they handle the business against NRG. Randoms being able to steal a series against NRG, and the fact that Shopify had such a slow performance so far. The Group A was surprising to say the least.
Craziness, man. Craziness. Complexity also getting on the top side of the bracket. That's going to be a big deal for them. They have been coming down to ground level, so to speak, and I hoping that the wind hits their sails one more time. G2 doing G2 and FaZe doing FaZe. So looking at how today went, this is how we set up the bracket. And so again, we do our first round of the bracket here on the stream, and we saw Space Station fall out of Oxygen. That's crazy, and we all well know it. But then we also see the other side, randoms knock out Rogue and continue going forward. Torrent knocks out Susquehanna, which I think could also be considered an upset or a surprising victory. And then the General NRG beats Envy, and that's how that one works out. But this is a surprising bracket for me. I will straight up say that, Jorby. Seeing V1 on the top side, seeing Space Station literally not on it, like a lot of these things stick out to me as like, yeah, this is the third regional.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we've always wanted out of North America. We've been asking, hey, where's the European carousel for this region? We're tired of watching the same 4 teams make it to the Final Four every single time. Well, some of these teams are finally starting to post some results. I can't remember the last time Torrent beat Xset. I don't think they've ever beaten Xset until this tournament. That's a step up for them. Beating Sonics, that's also a step up. NRG is going to be a tough out for them. But randoms, like that's, to me, randoms is that story that you want out of this region. It is a story that we've regularly had in Europe for a couple of regionals, and it's nice to see some of these A tier teams finally start punching above their weight class and posted some solid results.
I mean, that is the esports dream. I'll tell you right now, I always prefer my take is I like the North American style, right? A closed league. You only play the teams that are in the league. The open tournaments are really fun for this reason. You don't always get this reason. You have an open tournament and maybe some crazy kids come out of nowhere. I know Team EXE and all that, but like realistically, this is the dream, right? You're a bubble player, a below bubble player, and you've made it to the big show. This is why we do the open bracket. This is why we do this style tournament, and we're reaping the benefits as fans. Like we are so lucky to be able to get to see this stuff. I think it's so cool, Spaceman. It is very cool to really see randoms go here. That said, their opposition could be tough, but I'm just excited to see them on a Saturday.
Oh yeah, dude. This is the pinnacle of what esports is about. I mean, we've all been in esports for like almost 30 years combined, and we know that like open bracket teams that make that run, that understand how to take what the best they have against some of the top teams, that is where careers start. You start that legacy and that whisper through the cornfield of, did you guys see randoms? Did you see them take down? This is how these careers get started. So yeah, it's a great win for them, and I'm just proud of the boys. I hope they do well this weekend.
Big stuff. A lot of different storylines to take home with you. I think a lot of people are looking at complexity on the top side of the bracket. I know Supersonic is looking at version 1. Version 1 actually has low-key a big fan base out there. And I know for a fact that those people are really excited. Again, FaZe versus G2 is going to be a really cool matchup in that upper semifinals. We might even get a repeat of it later on down the bracket. That might be possible, but the world is yours. If you're in the bracket, that is. If not, well, we'll see you around. Everybody still battling it out. Keep in mind that North American major looming on the horizon, and the big picture points are what everybody's battling it out. It's in LA, baby. And you know, I want to see the sun and the palm trees. Lucky for me, I don't have to win any games. I'm going to go no matter what. These teams have to win it in order to get there. You guys have a great cast of people along for the ride tomorrow. Leaf and everybody, they'll be here tomorrow and Championship Sunday, but that does it for us on the broadcast today. Thank you so much to all the people behind the scenes on the ones and twos, pushing the buttons. Shout out to our observer, Crasher, for bringing us the action. My co-commentators, Jorby, Spaceman, and Stacks. You guys are the best. And of course, everybody out there in chat. Without you, we'd just be us. Keep it locked here this weekend for the RLCS. That's it. I'm done. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and much love.